I'm having. That is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue with Unique Lending, when Unique Lending place, anytime you bring this issue, that is my problem I'm having. That is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue with Unique Lending, when Unique Lending place, anytime you bring this issue, that is my problem I'm having. That is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue with Unique Lending, when Unique Lending place, anytime you bring this issue, that is my problem I'm having. That is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue with Unique Lending, when Unique Lending place, anytime you bring this issue, that is my problem I'm having. That is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue with Unique Lending, when Unique Lending place, anytime you bring this issue, that is my problem I'm having. That is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue with Unique Lending, when Unique Lending place, anytime you bring this issue, that is my problem I'm having. That is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue with Unique Lending, when Unique Lending place, anytime you bring this issue, that is my problem I'm having. That is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue with Unique Lending, when Unique Lending place, anytime you bring this issue, that is my problem I'm having. That is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue with Unique Lending, when Unique Lending place, anytime you bring this issue, that is my problem I'm having. That is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue with Unique Lending, when Unique Lending place, anytime you bring this issue, that is my problem I'm having. That is the.
Good evening and welcome to this edition of the show. It's always a pleasure to come to you on Tuesday evenings and especially tonight when it's raining, isn't it? Has the rain subsided? I hope it has, and I hope that it doesn't cause any confusion. So, well. What do we have today? Those of you who are a bit older, you see how life is. You see, when you do things in life and it's not grounded in law, they say you cannot put nothing on something and expect it to stand. When you try to put nothing on something, it cannot stand. Don't get confused, because I'm not talking about the Jakpa court. I'm coming there. That's our big story. But that's not even what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the Jakpa court today. That's our big story. I'm coming there. But think about it, viewers. Let's all think about it. When you do something and it's nothing, and you try to make it look like something, and you put nothing on something, it cannot stand. Have we forgotten? Today is June 4th. J.J. Rawlings and his apostles wantonly abused human rights all over the place, killed people for nothing, wrought out a useless revolution. That's why nobody's talking about it. We still talk about Sith March. Sith March is older than June 4th. We are still talking about Sith March. It's much older than June 4th. I'm still talking about it. June 4th is gone. Even the NDC people, even the apologists, those who may have benefited from the crimes occasioned on June 4th, even them, they are so embarrassed to talk about it. It's now past 9 p.m. Not a single press release on June 4th revolution. Look at them on the TV. This is what happened on June 4th. A complete illegal, useless revolution just born out of people's inability to progress in their lives. Total hogwash, nothing. They just shouted slogans. They said, let the blood flow. And so the blood should flow. Look at what he's doing. He's going to jump. That is why nobody remembers June. It was about this. Jumping from armored car and all those military shenanigans. It was about that. June 4th was about that. It's a useless revolution. That is why posterity has judged June 4th. And today, June 4th, nobody, not even the NDC. President John Dramani Mahama, good evening. You didn't issue a press release in support of the June 4th movement. Probity, accountability, and what's the other one? I've forgotten. What happened? What is happening? We are now coming back to our senses. We are now developing. The young people are intelligent. You have to explain to them June 4th. What is it? They killed people because they went to take loan. Not that they actually defaulted on the loan, that they even asked for the loan at all. They were killed. They sent them to Teshi and they shot them. And everybody was dancing, let the blood flow, because they were following the sloganeerism. They didn't know that they were being misled, completely misled, away from what was important. The people didn't know that they were being misled away from what was important. So tonight we'll pay tribute to June 4th. And it's a doomed tribute, because we are going to bring back the documentary that we put together on June 4th. When we did the documentary, whilst J.J. Rawlings and his Boachijan was still alive. Boachijan was alive, J.J. Rawlings was alive. And we put this documentary, and both of them saw it, and both of them had comments to make. And we told them that they had totally misled people in this useless revolution. Completely useless revolution. That is why today nobody is talking about June 4th. June 4th, Monday, June 4th. JJ is going to jump. Wait, he's going to jump. Aha, he jumps, he salutes. This is what June 4th is about. Jumping from armored car and saluting. That is why nobody is talking about it today. So now, as they say, let us be careful. Let us be careful about our political leaders. And let us be suspicious about political leaders who come to promise us heaven when they have nothing to offer. They absolutely have nothing to offer. Nothing. We ignore the Akan proverb that Abobi Bekawa Efriuntumem. That is why JJ used to say Abobi Bekawa no frantuma. He said he didn't know how to say it because it affects him, doesn't it? Abobi Bekawa, is that, what am I even saying? I don't mean Abobi Bekawa Efriuntumem. Say, what was the other proverb? Something like that. If somebody promised you something, check his background. A man who has nothing says that I'll give you so much. Observe his name. The man who has nothing. Check him out. That's what we ignored. And then we all followed our parents and our uncles. They all followed this man who was promising something, but who himself had nothing. And nobody checked his background. That, okay, who is J.J. Rawlings, by the way? And you would have seen a profile of a military officer who is recalcitrant, who is talking in the mess, talking against authority, unable to progress from the rank of flight lieutenant. That's the story you would have seen. And if today you show that story, nobody will follow June 4th. Thank God for development. Thank God for advancement. And thank God especially for education. And thank God for time. Time is a great teacher. Time is what has taught us this lesson. Time. He said, let the blood flow, and university students were following him. Let the blood flow. We are going to kill everybody. We'll kill all the adults. We'll kill. If he didn't take the very significant point, we have to be giving them award posthumously. Professor George Bene, people like that, who stood against the revolution and said, you cannot do that. You cannot kill people. And that the executions ended. Professor Akilakwa Sawyer, some of these people at the University of Ghana back in the day, who went in and told Jerry that you can't do that. Mr. Justice Afre, his lordship, Justice Afre, Justice of the Supreme Court, JSC, as he became, but in those days a High Court judge and staff of the Attorney General's office, all of these people put themselves together and told the revolutionaries that you cannot do that. Lawyer Dumwa Bossman, people like that, who sat in the offices of the revolutionaries and told them that you cannot do that. This useless revolution, wanton abuse of rights, self-promoting, baseless things is what they did. That is why today, time has taught us a lesson that don't follow these things. Time. President John Dramani Mahama, the CDR, ACDR, today is June 4th. They are forgotten. They themselves, they are forgotten. It's 9 p.m. They have not been able to issue a single press release about this unwarranted uselessness of a revolution that they took the whole Ghana on. Destroyed the social fiber of the civilian population, destroyed the discipline of the military. We had to build it all over again. All of these people. Anyway, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Good Evening Ghana. Tonight is June 4th, and we'll be showing you our June 4th documentary. Now, though, let's get to the touch screen. Hey, who are these? So, Shakespeare said something, Shakespeare said, there's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. We all know who Shakespeare is, isn't he? He said there's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. Now, the essence of Shakespeare's statement is debated among many people. Many scholars debated. The debate about Shakespeare's statement is whether or not Shakespeare meant that there's no way in which you can tell from a person's face what he's thinking, or that he meant that you can't look at the person's face and imagine the quality of their brain. We don't know which one he meant. You can take a position. He said there's no art to find the mind's construction of the face. When he said the mind's construction, did he mean what you are currently thinking about, or did he mean the quality of your brain? Either of them, you can't find it on the face, can you? Okay, I suppose that what you are currently thinking, you can find it on the face. Here is Lieutenant or Captain Jakpa, the famous, or rather infamous recorder of phone calls. Jakpa, that is him. This is how he appeared in court today. And he says with newfound friend, Samuel Jakpa, formerly of KNUST, but now the National Propaganda Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. Samuel Jakpa is here, and this is Jakpa. This is how the two of them appeared in court today. Look at his face. See, this is, can you put the photograph here? Viewers, he's the guy on the left. Look at, take a close look at him. This is the man who was released from the Ghana Armed Forces for some reasons that we can talk about later on. But he was asked by the Ghana Armed Forces to leave. And there he is, and he was the businessman who was to import ambulances for Ghana. That's him. That's the one on the left. You've heard about him. That's him. Jakpa. This is how he appeared in court today. His younger friend, Sami Jakpa, is looking for material to run a campaign. And so Jakpa becomes one of the materials that Sami Jakpa picks up to run a campaign. That's what he's doing. He's running a campaign. He's prosecuting a campaign, fair to say. And so he appears to be looking for material. So if you have material to give to Sami Jakpa to prosecute the campaign, and you like NDC, please give to him, because some of these materials that he's found, they may not even lead him to a successful campaign. These materials that he's found Jakpa. Will Jakpa lead Sami Jakpa to a successful campaign? Okay. Anyway, let's get onto the facts and share with you what we know. We know that it appeared that the Chief Justice may have declined the offer for a live coverage of the case. We're not really sure what has happened, but today there was no live coverage, so we assume that there's either a delay or that she may have declined the request. But let's go to what happened in court today from our lenses that were there throughout the case. Now, why was there court today? There was going to be court today anyway, because last Thursday, following the cross-examination of Francis Jakpa by one of the lawyers on his side anyway, even though it's called cross-examination, it emerged that he said to the court that he had been, as it were, harassed by the Attorney General at odd hours, and the Attorney General was looking to get Francis Jakpa to help him to prosecute his case. This is the case that he made in court. Now, by the time Francis Jakpa was making this allegation, the submission of no case that had been filed by him had actually failed in the court, and then he was asked to open his defense. So his submission of no case had failed. That is one. He had also actually entered into a plea bargaining relationship or a plea bargaining negotiations with the Attorney General, which is essentially to say, I know that I've committed the offense, but I can pay for it. Let me pay for it and go away. It is in Section 35 of the Criminal Offences Act. You can always look at it and see. This is what, so Francis Jakpa, who says that he was being harassed by the Attorney General, at the time he made that statement in court, two important things had happened. First of all, that his submission of no case, indicating that after the Attorney General had made the case or told the court the case against him, he had told the court that the Attorney General has not made any case at all in law, and therefore the case should be dismissed. The court disagreed with him and told him that the Attorney General has actually made a case against you and that you need to answer. If you don't answer, you will suffer the punishment of the trial. So he had to open his defense, and that's what he was doing. He's at the tail end of the opening of the defense, and then he says that the Attorney General has been harassing me. So that's one significant thing that happened. His submission of no case had failed. Two, he voluntarily had entered into a plea bargaining option, which is one of the options open to people who are told by the court that you have a case to answer. Once the court tells you they have a case to answer, you also have the option to say, okay, whilst I have a case to answer, I don't even want to answer it. I consider myself guilty. What is the punishment? I will pay so that I don't go to jail. Jakpa had begun this conversation with the Attorney General. It is after these two things had happened that he now says that after these two things have happened, he says that Attorney General was still harassing him. So they then filed an application in court today. So instead of the regular case continuing today, something else happened. The court took time to hear their matter. And what is their matter? They are filing a matter that they shouldn't be prosecuted. Both he and Case Lato Forsen, the first accused here, that they shouldn't be prosecuted, and that they are invoking something called mistrial. So what happened in court today? Let's get to the facts. Okay, so these are the key protagonists. So let's read. It says, after the allegation by Richard Jakpa, the third accused, that the Attorney General had attempted to coerce him to bear false witness against Ato Forsen in the ongoing ambulance trial, lawyers for both Ato Forsen and Richard Jakpa have brought an application before the court, Justice Efia Sewa Bochi, to strike out the case on grounds of misconduct by the Attorney General. They come under the inherent jurisdiction of the court. Okay. These are the lawyers who have brought the case, Abdul Basit and Tadiosori and another lawyer. So Tadiosori leads, Abdul Basit, whom I knew from the University of Ghana. I think it was a T or something like that when I was there. Nice guy. and then Tadosori is seasoned, and then another lawyer. Okay, what do they want? That's a question we ask. That a mistrial be ordered. They are asking the court that the court should say that this was a mistrial, that the case be dismissed. These are the two things that they want. Now, what is their basis for making the argument? Their basis are as follows. One, they argue that public confidence in the judiciary will be eroded if the judge doesn't rule in their favor. They argue also that the Attorney General violated his discretionary powers in violation of Article 23 and 295 of the Constitution. The matter has been adjourned to 6th June for ruling. So these are the main points they make. They say that because of some conversation that occurred between the Attorney General and Richard Jakpa, which Richard Jakpa recorded or has now admitted that he recorded, which he handed over to a political party, National Democratic Congress, to be applied in a press conference and to ask for the resignation of the Attorney General. That tape contains information which will suggest that if the judiciary don't check something, public confidence will be eroded. That's what they say. And then they argue also that Attorney General has failed in living up to the standards of Article 295 of the Constitution. What is in 295 of the Constitution? 295 is regulating the application and the use of discretionary authority granted under the 1992 Constitution. So Article 295 says that if you have a discretionary authority to render under the Constitution, you have to render it fairly and etc., and you don't have to be capricious about it. So they're arguing that in the Attorney General exercising his discretion under the powers granted him in Article 88, he has violated the provisions of 295. I'm not so sure if when people violate the provisions of 295 or there's an allegation about the violation of 295 that people go to a high court and say, therefore, I shouldn't be prosecuted. I'm not so sure about that, but the judge says he'll give a ruling on 6th of June. So this is the main matter. If you have any questions, you can send it to your our Facebook page, Good Evening Ghana Official, and we can deal with it right now. Because I don't want to say too much, so I just keep it to the main points. And then if you have questions, we can express ourselves on it. What's the Attorney General's response, by the way? So the Attorney General quickly and promptly responded, and then we'll come to some of the arguments that occurred in courts today. So hear me out. One, the Attorney General said that as follows. The AG argues that the application is a ruse and a desperate smokescreen set by the applicant to abort his legitimate prosecution for the role he played in causing colossal financial loss to the state in the purchase of ordinary vans purporting to be ambulances. Two, the application hinges on lies and a manipulation of facts that seeks to clothe the applicant with immunity from prosecution and therefore is incompetent and offensive to Ghanaian law. Three, the Attorney General says that there is no evidence of the allegations by Richard Jakpa. Okay, Richard Jakpa makes allegations that Attorney General has been coming to him at dawn and odd hours to say something. The Attorney General says he provides no evidence of that as far as he's concerned. Now, he also says that the application is based on lies, a manipulation of facts, and these things seek to clothe the applicant with a certain kind of immunity. The Attorney General is arguing that you are being prosecuted for a matter, and then you say that because of a conversation that occurred between two people, both of whom are principal actors in the matter, I shouldn't be prosecuted anymore. That's not how it works. If you are being prosecuted for A, they will prosecute you for A, and then they can deal with what has happened in another manner. So, for instance, if they say that the Attorney General has violated their discretion, they can deal with that. They can look at that and say, yes, the Attorney General has violated their discretion. He shouldn't have done so and so. Is that the reason why the question about how much loss has been occasioned to the state should not be answered? That's the point the Attorney General is raising. That they are saying that you have occasioned loss to the state. You have to answer that question and face it fully and squarely and either have an acquittal or whatever happens. But you don't say that because the Attorney General spoke to Richard Jakpa about this, I shouldn't be prosecuted anymore. It's a mistrial. We should stop. No, because Article 88, and I should have asked for it. If you can quickly get me Article 88. Article 88 is a constitutional provision which is entrenched. And it gives the Attorney General the authority to prosecute. Can a court legislate or pass a ruling to say that while the Attorney General has power to prosecute, we, the court, are telling him that he cannot prosecute? Really? I'm not so sure about that. Maybe they can say this person or that person, but the Attorney General's office will continue to prosecute a matter that they have started to prosecute. The only end to the prosecution or the The remedy for the accused person is that the court will pass a verdict of acquittal and discharge. That's the remedy for the accused person. There will be no other remedy except that which is provided in the procedural law. One of it being a submission of no case. So the accused person has remedies. One of them is that he can file for a submission of no case at the end of the prosecution's case, and then he can go off if the court agrees with him. The other remedy is that at the end of the trial, he will defend himself so well that the court will pronounce him acquitted and discharged. But no, that's not what Case Latufosin and Richard Jakpa want. That's not what they want. They want the court to say that because the Attorney General has had a conversation or some matter in the Supreme Court judge's house and etc., that they should be prosecuted no further. How does the conversation in the Supreme Court judge's house affect the matters in court for which the court has made a determination that Case Latufosin, a minority leader, and Richard Jakpa both have a case to answer? How does that affect it? How does the conversation on Sunday or Saturday or Monday or Tuesday in the Supreme Court judge's house affect the fact that the court has made a determination that Case Latufosin and Richard Jakpa have a case to answer? I'm not sure how that. I don't know. I don't know how that. But anyway, on Thursday, we're going to hear the ruling of the judge because we are not the judges. She will make a determination. But something interesting happened in court today. Before I go to the photographs, and please get the photographs ready for me. Before I go to the photographs, something interesting happened in court. Let me go back to the original photographs. Maybe should I use this one or should I use the other one? Maybe this is better. So lawyers for Richard Jakpa today, the only argument that was permitted. Okay, so I didn't quite finish the story. So when everybody went to court today, they had also the lawyers for Jakpa also, I think it was lawyers for Latufosin rather. They had a tape, some tape that they brought to court, and they were hoping that in making their oral arguments, they will be allowed to play the tape so that the court may hear it. The tape then will evidence the points that Jakpa made. We suspect that it's the same tape that Asedun Katia played. That is the same tape that they had. However, her lordship burst all of us our bubble when she said that, anyway, I'm not going to hear arguments over this matter. And that's clearly part of the procedure. Any judge can do that. It's part of the procedure. There's no problem with it. And lawyers are very familiar with that. With the judge saying that I'm not going to hear arguments. I have your affidavit in front of me. I'll read it and I'll make my ruling. That's what she said. She opted for that angle. We don't know why, but she's entitled to do so. So that's what happened. So, those of us who went to the court, we are journalists. We are looking for a story. We really didn't get the story we were looking for. We all went out and were doing, this madam to Abba, etc. Anyway, so she didn't hear arguments. However, she had one line of arguments because Tadiosori here had raised issues against the deposition of the Attorney General. The deposition is the document that Attorney General wrote in response to it that the Attorney General, I'm so and so and so and so. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. So somebody has told me something I verily believe him to be true, etc., etc. Tadiosori said that there are paragraphs of the deposition in there that the person who deposed to these facts should not be allowed to depose to the facts. Now, he sounded quite intelligent when he was speaking, isn't it? So he said that the chief state attorney should not be the one to depose the facts for the Attorney General. He should not be the one to. Attorney General should write it himself. And this evening on radio, they had been saying that the Attorney General was running away, and that is why he got somebody else to do it. Was he running away? He was in court himself. He stood there. He granted interviews that we'll show to you. He was there. He was right there in court. How was he running away? Anyway, the reason why, and some lawyers know this because it's part of the procedure, the reason why the Attorney General got somebody to depose to it, we have found out from his people, is very simple apparently. It's because he was unaware that the judge will say, I don't want oral arguments. So he was prepared to make the oral arguments himself. In that circumstance, he didn't want to be the same person deposing to the affidavit. Because if he did, perhaps he may not be able to make the argument. So he wanted somebody else to do it so that he will stand on his feet and deliver the arguments himself. This is the simple reason. And I don't know whether they don't know that this is part of the procedure, that the deposition has to be done in a certain way that allows you to speak. And the way to do the deposition that allows you to speak is that you ought not to depose to it yourself. I don't know whether they don't know this. Everybody knows it. Everybody should know it. So this is the reason, viewers, forget about everything you heard. And they are on Facebook and they do. Attorney General is running away. He's running away from what? The guy was in court. He was standing there. He was prepared to deliver the argument. And the leadership said that I don't want arguments today. I will look at it and I'll rule on Thursday. So what is running away? So please tell them that the reason why the Attorney General did that was because he wanted to speak himself. He didn't want somebody to speak for him. He wanted to speak himself. And that's why he did that. Anyway, during the argument, Tadiosori here raised that point that the person who deposited to the thing is not the same person. He doesn't have the information the person doesn't have the information. However, if you look at the deposition, and we can show it, in paragraph 1, the person says that all the things that he's deposing to have come to his knowledge by reason of the job that he does as a state attorney. The matters have come to his knowledge. So the matters are within his knowledge. But well, Tadiosori said, and the Attorney General was able to argue and oppose that. No, the guy says the things are within his knowledge. Then the Attorney General says something else. In bringing up this objection, Tadiosori, his lordship, relied on CI 47. Is a law called CI 47. It encapsulates the civil procedure rules. So quickly, an objection was raised in court again by the Attorney General. What is he talking about? This is a criminal trial, which has its own rules. The Criminal Offences Act in 29 and the Criminal Procedure Act in 30 are there to govern the criminal law and the criminal procedure. Fundamentally that. There is something else that governs civil law. So what is criminal? Criminal is a police matter, a prosecution. That's criminal. Civil is me and you, we are fighting over land. Me and you, we are fighting over property. Me and you, we are fighting over car. Me and you, we are fighting over inheritance. Me and you, we are fighting over Metro TV. Somebody and somebody fighting over GTV, etc., etc. That's civil. It doesn't involve prosecution, okay? Even though we can use the English word prosecution loosely to say that a matter is being prosecuted. But when we use a technical expression prosecution, that means that somebody has offended the Criminal Offences Act and the state is prosecuting. That's what it means. So the rules that govern that are outlined in the Acts 30 and Acts 29. Of course, right now we say as amended because since 1960, both have been heavily amended. Act 29 and Act 30. Act 29 is the Criminal Offences Act. Act 30 is the Criminal Procedure. And so now we have Act 29 as amended. And then there's the Criminal Procedure. So the Criminal Procedure governs criminal procedure. The Attorney General was at a loss why his lordship Tadiosori was citing the civil procedure rules to govern criminal. So there was a bit of, jostling in the court. It was a very beautiful scene. And you would have to applaud the Attorney General. I mean, his sense of sharpness, standing on his feet to raise these objections against Tadiosori, it was admirable. But anyway, it's admirable for everyone because if you have an Attorney General like that, who is the Minister for Justice, it works, doesn't it? It works. Okay. So the judge listened to both of them and said that will also form part of her ruling on Thursday. So Thursday is D-Day, viewers, and we will be there. We'll be there plenty. We'll be there all over the place, and then we'll bring you what happens. If the D-Day comes, then what could the judge do? What could the judge do on D-Day? Okay. So on D-Day, these are the options that we think are open to the judge. There could be more, but we try to get some options just to put our viewers in a certain mind on the straight and narrow as we approach a D-Day. 1, the judge could agree with Richard Jakpa and accept to dismiss the suit because of the purported misconduct of the AG. Number 2, the judge could dismiss the application so that the suit takes its normal course. And number 3, despite all this, the learned trial judge has the ability and chance to set precedent. Okay. So, 3 is different from 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 are the options. He either agrees with Jakpa or he dismisses Jakpa's application. But what is essential is that this is very novel. This application is novel. Application that says that because of the Attorney General's supposed something and phone call, stop the trial. It's never happened since 1960 when the Criminal Offences Act was written and when the British finally left and they gave us our own law and we had our own laws. No individual under prosecution has brought an application to the court suggesting that the Attorney General has done something outside the court, outside the normal matter, outside the court situation, and has had a conversation with somebody, and as a result of that, please stop the prosecution so that we are not prosecuted any further. Give us an immunity. Clothe us with immunity from prosecution, because the Attorney General, the lead prosecutor, has gone to a Supreme Court judge's house and had a conversation. The judge is looking at a novel matter. There's no precedent to guide her. You know that for us, our Anglo-Saxon common law, stare decisis, which means that you have to follow the rulings of other courts historically when the matter is similar. That's the judges in the Anglo-Saxon, that is British American law. That's how they call it, the Anglo-Saxon common law. Those countries that subscribe to that common law also subscribe to the principle of following after the rulings that have happened in a similar matter. So if in matter X in 1938, this and this happened, and the same situation is occurring again in 2024, the lawyers will draw the judge's attention to what they call legal authorities. And the legal authorities, therefore, or thereby, will be compelling on the judge, except if another lawyer or the judge himself or herself is able to distinguish the circumstances. Distinguish the circumstances means you want to show that there's some part of the current case that does not look like the old case, and therefore we are not bound by that precedent. It's called stare decisis. That's a principle in Latin. Okay, so her ladyship has a big opportunity on Thursday to set a precedent on the way in which these applications are handled, because it's the first time an application is ever coming. Her ladyship, remember, is a justice of the Court of Appeal, and she's sitting as an additional High Court judge. So a lot is expected from her in terms of the legal theory and the legal philosophy, and she's going to deliver that on Thursday. We wish her the best. But this is the story right now. Let's now go to the media story. I've finished with the legal story. Let's go to the media story. And by the media story, I mean the photographs. Let me go to the photographs. There's a lot of concern there. Let's get it. So this is where the photograph starts. Okay. So who do we see in this photograph? So can you just, they don't see it well this way, so just put it straight. I'll come in front of the TV here and then deal with it. Yeah. Oh, can I make it bigger? Oh, I can. Okay. So come back to me. Oh, but you should have told me I can make it bigger. Yes. So it was beautiful in court this morning, viewers. It was just beautiful. So parliamentary candidate for Wenchi, that is Godfrey Dami's hometown potential MP Kojo Frimpong. I think that by God's grace, Kojo Frimpong will be elected the parliamentary candidate for Wenchi, and nothing will change that by God's grace. So he's here, and he's telling Bassett something. I don't know. Bassett is the lawyer for Richard Jakpa, and counsel for the National Democratic Congress. His Lordship Sami Jemfi, who is also the propaganda secretary of the party, also in court. So this is after court stepping out, one Godfrey Dami person, one Richard Jakpa person, and then the counsel for the NDC, Samuel Jemfi. That's the first photograph we deal with. Okay, let's move to the next. Oh. Can you change it for me. Next photograph. It will come very quickly. Viewers, sorry. There's a lot of gossip to enjoy here, so don't go away. Let's look at the next photograph. Oh, the next photograph is just Samuel Jemfi and Bassett. Please move to the next one. I want more interesting ones. Samuel Jemfi and Bassett still having a conversation. Please, hold it. Let me do the Okay. Okay, so we are getting somewhere. So we like Kokonsan, but we didn't know that other people came to court for Kokonsan, because in this photograph you can tell that some people just came for Kokonsan, they didn't come and do anything. But anyway, no problem. This is Maretta Brew, appear upon, former Learned Attorney General of the Republic. This is Abdul Bassett. Seems to be telling him something. I don't know the guy behind here. I think it's Kojoga Adawudu, and I can't see the one's here's face well. But this is after court when they left. So I don't know what Bassett was telling the former Attorney General. He seems to be smiling more than she is. So perhaps he's focusing on something in front of her, and she's trying to draw her attention, something funny that she hasn't seen yet. But this is the photograph of court. It looks very interesting. You know, Ghana's democracy is very, very nice. Double tap. Okay. Okay. All right. So great, Mikhail. Thank you very much. This one is the one that we got the filler from. Oh my goodness. Look at the guy's black spectacles. Does it remind you of somebody who wears black spectacles in the morning? Don't mention his name. Just watch this one. So this is Richard Jakpa, who is here. The Jakpa guy. This is the cousin to the learned Justice Kulendi, through whom Godfrey Dami met Jakpa in Justice Kulendi's house, as Jakpa himself says on the tape. This is Jakpa. He was an army officer of the rank of lieutenant, and then he was going to become captain, and then plenty of things happened. Eventually, the armed forces released him, but that's a story for another day. So, this is Richard Jakpa. That's him. That's the guy. This is Samuel Jamefi, His Lordship, the Counsel for the National Democratic Congress, who is also the propaganda secretary of the party. And please, whilst we say that, check the meaning of propaganda in the dictionary. And this is Tadio Sori, seasoned lawyer, a very hardworking man, quite seasoned. This is Tadio Sori, who is lawyer for Case Lato Forcing, and Basit Bamba is not in this photograph, but this is the photograph of the day. Viewers, over 10, how much will you give this photograph? I give it 10 over 10. 10 over 10 for what? You tell me what. 10 over 10 for what? Is it 10 over 10 for motive? 10 over 10 for plotting? 10 over 10 for entrapment? 10 over 10 for, I don't know, 10 over 10 for what? But I give them 10 over 10. What do you give them 10 over 10 for? As for Jakpa, I give him 12 over 10. Look at his face. Richard Jakpa. This is the guy, Jakpa. Yeah, that's him. That's Richard Jakpa. He's a cousin of the learned Supreme Court judge. That's Richard Jakpa. Look, the guy is wearing black. But there's nobody wearing spectacles, shades here. I don't know why he alone wanted to wear shades. And then he has a hat to boot, you know. Richard Jakpa, the recorder of the leader of the bar. He's a recorder. He can take phone call and record you, and he talks about something that's unrelated. You say that, I don't want you to help me make my. He said, no. You can't tell me to help you make it. I see, when we met in Justice Kulendi's house, you say every day to please get me the tape, the one you use for the teaser. Get it. If it's ready, tell Mumin it's ready. Let me take it. Now. Just so that we can hear Richard Jakpa's voice. So that's Jakpa. He's the one who was telling the Attorney General that, do you remember the thing? The same thing you were saying. Okay, play the Jakpa tape. Play it. Have a listen.
The problem I'm having, anytime you bring up this issue with Yoni Kulendi, when Yoni Kulendi's place, anytime you bring this issue, that is my problem I'm having. That is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue with Yoni Kulendi, when Yoni Kulendi's place, anytime you bring this issue, that is my problem I'm having. That is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue with Yoni Kulendi, when Yoni Kulendi's place, anytime you bring this issue, that is my problem I'm having.
He said, anytime you bring this issue, that's a problem I have. When we went to Yoni Kulendi's place. That's Richard Jakpa. Now, Jakpa conducted this recording according to him. And I mean, the thing that is the most bizarre argument I've heard, I can't wrap my head around it, is that when the NDC published the tape, the MPP apparently held a press conference and said that the tape was doctored. Now, the argument that I hear Richard Jakpa himself told journalists today is that if the tape is doctored, bring the original one. I don't understand it. So let me take it slow, one by one. They say your tape is doctored. Your response is that if you say this is a doctored tape, bring the original tape. I said Lukete also said that. Samuel Jamefi also said that. I don't understand what they are talking about. When we say a tape is doctored, it's not because we have an original one. So let me ask them. Let me ask Samuel Jamefi. If a forensic expert comes to the court or anywhere for that matter, listens to the tape and concludes that the tape is doctored, does it mean that he has the original tape? I mean, what are they talking about? This evening, Martin Pebu, he often doesn't, but today he said something sensible. He said that when they say tape is doctored, it means that you have removed something, you have added something, or it doesn't add up. So he gave an example. Martin Pebu gave an example today on Joy FM. He said, for instance, this tape they are talking about, they say it's 26 minutes, but what they played was 16 minutes. So that can be an example or an inquiry into doctrine. With that, you can begin an inquiry into doctrine. So I don't understand when Asidun Ketia of all people, very intelligent man, Samuel Jamefi, propaganda secretary, and Richard Jakpa, their newfound friend, all say that if the tape is doctored, bring your own. I mean, wow. When we say a tape is doctored, it doesn't mean we have the original. It means we can listen to the sound of the tape and notice that a word is repeating itself. Notice that there are gaps in the recording. And notice that it appeared that some editing was being done. That is the meaning of a tape is doctored. A tape is doctored doesn't mean we have the original. In any case, you conducted your illegal recording on your own together with your friends. The person you were recording, because he's honest and he trusts you, he was not counter-recording. And then you produce the tape. Everything about the tape shows that you have deleted something, added something, and how did we know? When it came to text messages, they deleted it. And we showed the original text message here. For those of you who have not seen it, perhaps today we'll show it again. They deleted it. So we know that there are characters in the world that are not honest, that are brutally dishonest. And they can do these things. So when people were listening to the tape, they were listening to the way the tape will work. And now, many experts have come out to say that everything about that tape is doctored. Now, when they say a tape is doctored, then you say, go and bring your own. It is the most embarrassing answer to give when an allegation is made that the tape is doctored. It's the most embarrassing answer to give. But here you are, Richard Jakpa gave that answer to journalists today. Samuel James, the propaganda secretary of the NDC and counsel for the party, also gave that answer today. And Asedun Ketia Johnson, Asedun Ketia, my former neighbor, also gave that answer in his press conference. And I was disappointed because for me as a reporter, I like to see the arguments at very high level. And I have covered parliament. I covered the second parliament. I heard those brilliant arguments from NDC and from MPP. J.H. Mensah, J.H. also a champion, Doa Jao. They were all there. Aban Bagbin, making brilliant submissions both ways. That's how our democracy grows. But when you hear one side debasing the argument completely, something that JSS 2 boys can understand, that when they say a tape is doctored, it doesn't mean that you have your own. It's very childish to think like that. A tape is doctored doesn't mean that, oh, please, can you tell them? Because, ask them, if a forensic expert comes to the court or comes anywhere, takes the tape, passes it through forensic analysis and says that this tape is doctored, does it mean that he has a copy and he's comparing his copy to your copy? Oh, Charlie, this one, it was too bad. I don't understand it. I just don't get it. Anyway, no problem. Let's see whether we have some more photographs on this matter right now here. Yes, okay. Oh, it looks like we have a better one here. Hey, this looks better. Okay, so here you are. Sir Jakpa. I'm not sure what they were all looking at, but what they were looking at seemed like it wasn't pleasant. So I don't know. They were looking into were they looking into the future? Were they checking out the crystal ball of December 7th? Because it appears that everybody's face here is unpleasant. Even Tadiosori, his lordship. Look at what were they looking at? Viewers, can you, the reporters who were there and you're watching me, what were they checking? What were they looking at? Look at everybody's face here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As for Jakpa, no worry. But everybody's face here looks like they are looking at something they don't like. And they were coming out of court. Court was over. So what didn't they like? Is it that the arguments that the Attorney General made against the Tadiosori's objection? Is it that tomorrow is the Attorney General's birthday? What didn't they like? Quite clearly, they didn't like something. Those of you who know what they didn't like, please give us a call and tell us what you think they didn't like. Let me round it up here. Tonight we have interesting conversations coming up. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the last photograph. Is that okay? If there's another photograph, can you put it on very quickly? Let's see. Viewers, I hope that you are understanding and enjoying the processes. Okay, I'm guessing it's the same photograph, the same one. Do you have another one? Okay, let the pixels come down. Let me see about this one. Okay, this one too. Is it that my friends didn't have a good morning in court today? All their photographs look something. As for Jakpa, his face doesn't change. His face is always, armored vehicle type of. I don't know whether they did. This looks better small because Tadiosori at least has a broad smile. Thank you very much, Marietta Bruopon, the former Attorney General. It looks like you changed the mood of your people. You did so well. Women are magical. So Tadiosori finally sees Marietta and he's so happy. Thank you, Marietta. Women are magical. Women show up and Sabije Fikra is smiling small. Even Jakpa is toned down the thing small. Marietta, what did you tell them? Maybe Marietta realized that my people are not happy. Let me go and cheer them up a little. Women are great at that. So I think that's what Marietta did. She came to cheer them up. Tadiosori is smiling eventually. Samuel James, counsel for the NDC and propaganda secretary. Jakpa cry is better small, but he still has his black spectacles early in the morning at the court complexes in Accra. Okay, this one too, the happiness is not there at all, but Marietta is there. So I'm sure that this photograph came before the last one. Marietta observed that his people were not happy, and then she came to try and use her female magic to sort of make them cheer up a little bit. Okay, is there another photograph that we can look at? Okay, here is Sami Jemfi now talking. Okay, he spoke to the press and all he said was that The Attorney General didn't depose to the thing because he was afraid of Richard Jakpa. I guess the procedure is unknown to him, that if you want to argue over a matter, you cannot depose to it and become a witness. I guess it's unknown to him. So he was unaware. So forgive him. All of us were unaware. I mean, we were unaware until we asked the Puller Attorney General, but why didn't your man depose to and explain to us? So we're also unaware. Now we have learned. I'm hoping that now he has also learned. So tomorrow, if he's giving a press conference, he won't say the things he said today, because now he has learned that there's a procedure like that, and that when you want to speak, you don't have to depose to it. I think that now he knows, because now we have all found out. So Samuel Jemfi, we were with you on the same level. We too, we didn't understand why the Attorney General did that. That is because we didn't know the procedure. We don't practice law. We didn't know. I think you also don't practice law, so you also don't know. Now we all know, so it's okay. It's okay, no problem. So that's fine. Now we all know. Okay. All right. After that, the Attorney General also spoke when he got out of court. The journalist, as usual, confronted him, and he was very biblical with what he said. Have a listen. This is what he said. Sorry, we're just looking for the video. So we have it. We have it now. So after the event, the Attorney General also spoke. This is what he said. Oh. Our tapes are jamming. Maybe it's because it rained. I was going to go to a Godfrey Dami one. They are finding it. They'll have it in a moment. But because I repeated this argument about doctor tape, and they say bring your tape, listen to Richard Jakpa talking about that.
Not surprised. I mean, they're always resorting to all these tricks, and of course, replied, as we know. All I can say is that the Lord does not delight in the pleasure of the wicked, and that even though they've laid traps for me, I will flee from them. And righteousness will always prevail over evil. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Not surprised. I mean, they're always resorting to all these tricks, and of course, replied, as we know. All I can say is that the Lord does not delight in the pleasure of the wicked, and that even though they've laid traps for me, I will flee from them. And righteousness will always prevail over evil.
Sorry about that, viewers. Let's do a better sequence. So let's play Richard Jakpa's tape first. Oh, it looks, they don't.
What do you make of the position that the tape you put out is a doctored tape?
Well, they are claiming it's a doctored tape. I didn't say that. So they should bring the original. You should tell the original to court.
But why did you record the Attorney General?
Well, that is not for you.
What do you make of the position that the tape you put out is a doctored tape?
Well, they are claiming it's a doctored tape. I didn't say that. So they should bring the original. You should tell the original to court.
But why did you record the Attorney General?
Well, that is not for you.
What do you make of the position that the tape you put out is a doctored tape?
Well, they are claiming it's a doctored tape. I didn't say that. So they should bring the original. You should tell the original to court.
But why did you record the Attorney General?
Well, that is not for you.
What do you make of
He said that they should bring the other one. Okay, so after court, the Attorney General was encumbered by journalists, and he was very biblical when he spoke to them. This is what he said.
No surprise. I mean, they're always resorting to all these tricks, and of course, replied, as you know. All I can say is that the Lord does not delight in the pleasure of the wicked, and that even though they've laid traps for me, I will flee from them, and righteousness will always prevail over evil. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
No surprise. I mean, they're always resorting to all these tricks, and of course, replied, as you know. All I can say is that the Lord does not delight in the pleasure of the wicked, and that even though they've laid traps for me, I will flee from them, and righteousness will always prevail over evil. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
No surprise. I mean, they're always resorting to all these tricks, and of course, replied, as you know. All I can say is that the Lord does not delight in the pleasure of the wicked, and that even though they've laid traps for me, I will flee from them, and righteousness will always prevail over evil. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
No surprise.
All right, so let's go grab the text messages of what people are saying about everything that we've said so far. And then thereafter, we will take a break. We have other stories coming. We have a major June 4th story coming as well. And then there's some sports. Black Stars are up in the World Cup qualifiers later this week. They are playing in the World Cup qualifiers. So let's go to text message. Who should I start with? Fatih, what are people saying?
All right, so thank you, Paul. Emmanuel Nana Akasi wants to know if the proceedings will be telecast on TV live. Faisal Slita also says, excellent presentation, Paul. Learned people and people who are willing to learn will always appreciate your efforts and works. Coming from Samuel Kelly says, I think the NPP government has taken too long to bring this case to judgment. Hearing the majority leader saying that those who collected double salaries, of which Ato Forson is one, we wouldn't have got there. But no one can blame the AG Godfrey Dame. Coming from Wages or says Paul, one thing I've noticed in this brouhaha is that nobody has ever said Ato Forson acted rightfully. Amidst that, Attorney General shouldn't continue the case, but a supposed audio recording that has taken the center stage of the criminal trial of the case. NDC is so wicked that if you follow them, they will influence your thinking. Also coming from Samuel Fosubai says, good evening, Paul. In fact, the memory of June 4th, 1979 and its odious activities remind me of anything that hasn't God as a foundation passed out like a vapor. Today, those useless AFRC and their bogus revolutionary deeds can't be remembered anymore. God should forgive them. And then, coming from Alhaji Pop City says, the most useless revolution which moved the country backward about 100 years, and it was initiated by today's NDC. Paul, assalamu alaikum. Lastly, coming from Ali, he says, Paul, I don't even know how to describe Honorable Godfrey Dame. In fact, he is sizeless and matchless when it comes to the law. What I can say is Godfrey Dame is the law, and the law is Godfrey Dame. Nothing less, nothing more. What do you have first?
All right, so this is from Raymond. Raymond says, good evening, Paul. These unnecessary delay tactics adopted by the NDC and the third accused person to invite public opinion into the Ato Forson ambulance trial is a premature move to distract the judicial process. If they believe they have solid legal case in the trial, why are all these unnecessary tactics? The NDC and the third accused person behavior is an indication to the judge to their inability to have a legal case and how their case is definitely going to fail in court. God continue to bless and guide the Attorney General. Watching you live from New York. This one is from Faisal. He says, Jakpa, a matured man like you, recording a fellow man, when will people like you stop being evil? Hoping that the learned Kuleni sees you as the evil and distant cousin that you should be and distance himself from you. This one is also from Canton. He says, Paulo, you are journalism and journalism is Paul Adam Oche. Let these useless and fake boys parade around the NDC presidential candidates in the name of journalism. You are indeed what we need. Charles says, Paul, your unparalleled analysis and in-depth understanding is what distinguished you from other journalists. Lastly, this is from Kwesi. He says, Paul, the NDC are only concerned about the implications of the case on their electoral fortunes and not getting justice for Ato or Jakpa. Sadly, if things do not go well, only Ato and Jakpa will face the music while NDC will continue screaming political witch hunting. Anziba.
Alright, so from Mohammed Yusufa, Mr. Paul, let's be honest, the Attorney General did mess up. In fact, some of this government appointees' attitudes are really making things difficult for us to defend. So sad. As Yama Kingsley is saying, excellent one there. From Kweku Dami, Paul, thank you for your analysis of issues. I have been a religious follower and I must say I get more understanding and knowledge from your program than most of the journalism we have in Ghana. Thank you for taking your time to break issues down. You force even NDC apologists to watch your show. Good Evening Ghana is such an educative program. From James Sakum, the best evening show, the best journalist in Ghana. From Nana Kudu, Paul, you're making my evening. God bless you. Lastly, from Emmanuel Kwabna, he's saying the Attorney General didn't say anything sensible. He hid behind Bible quotations and walked away. Over to you, Angelo.
Okay, so we've got an update coming in. Apparently, it looks like Commonwealth Hall at the University of Ghana is on fire. This is news that's coming in. Anyway, Roxton from Tamale says, the Machiavellian tactics and the orchestrated tape to smear the venerable AG are dead on arrival. My worry are the so-called anti-corruption crusaders. Why are they not speaking? Guy Soka from Adesu says, does the NDC now believe in tapes and can't they even do a proper job? Albert from Accra says, good evening, Paul. The NDC did not learn the job well from Anas Kra. They didn't doctor the tape well. Hey. Okay, it continues. They should have waited for 1 week so they could do the doctoring well. I'm sure wherever Anas says, he'll be asking himself that what went wrong after teaching them how to doctor it. Hey, okay. Continuing, DKM says, Brother Paul, a tape of 26 minutes, only 60 minutes, 5 seconds. Why was the rest of the tape shielded? Why was the rest of the tape shielded? Brothers, judge for yourselves. Now, Nana Akrama Boateng says, the NDC do not have a case. They have seen that the case against the minority leader is weightier and can put him in jail. So they have resorted to this game of, if you miss the ball, don't miss the man. Our learned Attorney General is not perturbed about the rancorous, boisterous propaganda machinery of the NDC. Again, from Prince Bansa in the University of Lincoln in England, he says, it's sad that we've allowed the NDC, which is seeking to come back to power with the same person, under whose tenure the botched ambulances were procured, to trivialize this matter. This was a contract that yielded Ghana no benefit, with millions of taxpayers' money given to partisan cronies, and we are being invited to discuss fraudulent tapes. He continues, I believe the AG was engaging him because of Kulendi. I'm not sure Godfred will even consider engaging this guy if Kulendi was not involved. I'm surprised Justice Kulendi allowed him to put out this tape, knowing that the AG was engaging him because of his position. Clearly, the audio was doctored. You don't need a specialist to tell that aspect of the tape has indeed been doctored. And, okay, but there's a bit of teasing from this fellow, what's it called? Ebenezer, he says, ha ha ha, Jakpa, the recorder of the bar, Paul, you can tease people, or anyway, Paul, to you.
All right, so we are still going on the matter. I've taken my seat now. So there's a lot more. Later tonight, we have sports. So Andy's going to come in with the sports. But just before we do Andy's sports, there's still sports relating to guess who the Attorney General. Now, today, it looks like a very good day for the Attorney General on the eve of his birthday because he has a football club. You know that these days, the politicians have a football club. Idrisu Haruna, the former minority leader, a member of parliament for Tamale South, former minister for communication and labor, has a football club. And Godfrey Dame has a football club. Richard Jakpa, are you listening? Today of all days, when you went to court and Godfrey Dame says that evil will triumph over good, which we have played. Do you know what happened today? Soon after court, the Accra Sports Stadium hosted a game. It's the game of transition. How do they call it? Where's Andy? A transition from Division 1 to Premier League. They call it playoffs, yes. The playoffs for the Division 1 to come to Premier League. Wenchi's Young Apostles, you know Godfrey Dame is from Wenchi, like Professor Buzia. Wenchi's Young Apostles, which is Godfrey Dame's team, played at the Accra Sports Stadium this afternoon in a final game to determine whether they were coming to be part of the Premier League or not. They were playing a team from one of my favorite towns, Techiman. Now, Techiman Heroes is Martin J. Mensah Kosa. He's also a member of parliament. He's a minister for local government. He too, that is his team. So the minister for local government's team locked horns with the team of the minister for justice and attorney general. At the Accra Sports Stadium, one Techiman team and one Wenchi team were playing at the Accra Sports Stadium for playoffs. After the game, the Techiman Heroes went to AJ Mensah Kosa's office with whatever they got. The Young Apostles of Wenchi went to Godfrey Dame's office with whatever they got. Now I'm going to show you the video of what happened in Godfrey Dame's office after the football game at the Accra Sports Stadium. This was a day for Godfrey Dame, no doubt about it. Have a look.
Congratulations to you once again. You've done so well. Full of pride to Wenchi. Indeed, I know the journey was very arduous, was very difficult, but indeed, I went through all the storm and all. I remember when I came to the stadium, it was 1-1, and I had to leave for a meeting. Referee Paul called me that the match had ended, going to penalties. I said, hey, penalties, we'll see how it goes. And people called me again to inform me that the other team had taken a 3-1 lead.
3-1!
I told him that, it was going to be well.
Yes.
And lo and behold, they missed all the other kicks. And Young Apostles converted all. Messi Maya, they promoted you, Ashe, when she mind the Masipa, contributing in our little endeavors to ensure that when she grow up. And indeed, this one I know is going to go a long way to lift when she up. Obaka, I'm pleased to be with you. I'll stand by you. I'll be with you. And as a little reward, I have told the boss, from Pony coaches, I said, Mama, 30,000 Ghana. I know that young apostles has come to stay. I know that young apostles has come to stay in the Premier League. Sure. They will stay, they will win the Premier League, they'll go to Africa Cup.
Oh, what to me, can say, no, what to me. So this is the Wenchi team. Look at Kojo Primo, look how happy he is. They clad Gofredami in the yellow thing. Their club color is yellow. They are in the Premier League. So Asante Kotoko will go to Wenchi. Will beat them 6. You know that, don't you? Hearts of Oak will also go. That is if Hearts of Oak are able to scale the relegation, because sports is coming up. Andy will tell us whether Accra Hearts of Oak in their game against Accra Great Olympics will be able to make it. But this is the Wenchi team that has now come to Premier League. And they had their song, no what to me. Is that the Deputy Attorney General? They've dressed him in the jersey. Okay, Mr. Tuya Eboa. Samalenim. Oh, okay. And there's a lady in there. Please get ready and loop the tape again. I like that song. No what to me. So this is in the office of the Attorney General, where after 1-1, they went on penalties, took a double tap, okay. Took a 3-1 deficit and were able to come round to win the penalties. And so they got their medal. They have been promoted to the Premier League. The Attorney General's team is in the Premier League. There they are. This is the one. To me. Okay. So congratulations to the Wenchi team for making it into the Ghana Premier League. Asante Kotoko will be going to Wenchi to play with them. We'll beat them 6. I told you that. Accra Hearts of Oak will also go to Wenchi. And I hope that Hearts of Oak can do their relegation. Okay, but big congratulations to them. It's not often that a team from obscurity, with little support from a minister, with little support from other people, dedication of the players, dedication of the coach, come all the way through the championship, jump all the hurdles, or scale all the hurdles, I should say. Come then to the Accra Sports Stadium and beat almighty Techiman Heroes. I think that's a good feel. Let's give it to them again. Play the song again. Eja know what to me. Do that. Sewa yabao, Yefi jusu na yabo, sewa, Yefi kwamu na yabo, sewa yabao, Yefi jusu na yabo, sewa, Yefi kwamu na yabo, sewa. Text message time. This is Good Evening Ghana. It's live. I begin with Anzibar.
From Michael Boacher, he's saying, to know the tape is doctored, compare the duration of the call from Telecel and to that of the tape. Simple. Also from Ya Papevi, she's saying, Godfrey Dami is such a nice person. He shouldn't allow the NDC party to play him at all. Okay, Ella, what do you have for us?
He says that it is even a disgrace to the NDC as a party. Any leader who is in court because of misappropriation of public funds doesn't deserve to be in any political party leadership, not to talk about a minority leader. Their tactics to get public attention and to prevent the prosecution is the reason why Asiedu Inketia removed Honorable Haruna as minority leader for no reason. God helped my motherland from NDC. May God help all NDC apologists. Lily also says, Paul, I won't be surprised if Kolindi knows about this so-called recording of the Attorney General because Jakpa is related to him and he called for those meetings in his house. MPP leaders should look sharp, kakra, and stop falling in the NDC trap. These people are extremely evil. Fatih.
So this is from Sumaila and he says, Gofredame is one of my favorite lawyers in Ghana. Great man by all standards. Coming from Wages Osei Alimbo, he says, no media house was able to give us this extensive analysis of what happened in court today. And then lastly, coming from Emmanuel Boachi, he says, brilliant analysis. AG is free and must continue with the case. To you, Angelo.
Nana Kofi says, calling the June 4 and December 31 vindictive uprising a revolution gives it some credibility. Germans are still enjoying their industrial revolution. The French are still enjoying the revolution that took away their monarchies. Please, what are we enjoying from June 4th and December 31? This is from Nana Kofi. And lastly, Chuga says, we have many parties in Ghana, which means an MPP flags on your show. Is there any reason? Paul, let's get back to you.
The MPP and NDC flag. Okay, viewers, last week we kept an eye on Johannesburg and Pretoria and Soweto in South Africa. We know what has happened in South Africa in the elections. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, I'll be doing some preparatory work with Al-Hassan Bello and Mikhail here in the studio. And then on Thursday, we'll bring you a full coverage of what happened in South Africa. What does it mean for Ghana? What would it mean if Ghana were a proportional representation? We're going to give you a full blast analysis on South Africa, just because we want to keep our relationship with you, our viewers, that when it comes to politics, we'll always educate, entertain, and inform you on every political issue happening around the world. We're seriously and feverishly preparing for the United Kingdom's elections on the 4th of July. We hope to bring you absolute coverage of that as well. And then, actually tonight, Dr. Eche Sikanku is in the studio with us. He's somewhere here. I came in quite late, so we didn't have a chat. That he's also here just guiding us into how we cover the American election. We know now that a debate has been agreed between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump, who has been convicted of an offense yet to be sentenced, though. And so that's the stories coming up on Good Evening Ghana from Thursday. Now, though, we take a short break, and when we come back, we have Andy on sports, and then we link up to the June 4th documentary. This June 4th documentary was first published in 2019. That's a long time. 2019, 2021, 2023, 24. 5 years ago, isn't it? Yes, we did this documentary 5 years ago. And when I watch the documentary, I'm always grateful to Tarek Mandison, our video editor, who put it together. And Ivan Koshiga's studio in Laboni. The voiceover recording was done by Joseph Koshiga. Very, very nice guy. I've been recording voiceovers to Joseph Koshiga since 1999 in the same studio in Laboni, where he still is right now in Naniba Estate. And anytime I have a documentary to produce, I'll send him the script by WhatsApp. He'll call me and say, Paul, come at 4. When I say 4, I don't mean 6, so you know how Joseph talks. And then I'll go there and record. We put that together very quickly, because I was chatting with a friend of mine and he says, why don't you do something about June 4th? With all the information you have about June 4th, why didn't you put in a documentary? So I did. And that documentary was showed in 19, we showed it in 20. Every year, June 4th, we show it. And this year is not going to be an exception. So this is Good Evening Ghana is live. After the break, we go to sports. Why are we talking about sports? The Black Stars are in Mali, and they're going to be playing the Malian counterparts. Many years ago, this would have been a tricky duel for Ghana, but now we think that it's within our control. So we'll see what happens in Mali. And then 4 days later, they come to the Kumasi Sports Stadium for another game. And if the Black Stars win both games, they would have succeeded in amassing 6 points straight away as they prepare for World Cup 2025, taking place in America, Canada, and Mexico. All right, commercial break time. After that, sports.
Hey, original politician.
Hey, please don't make mistake. Talk to Papa. Open the back mouth. And you politician no girl. Papa.
Papa, can ruffle.
The politician is original, the first and the best.
What is? Who got also for the acrobat you used to be?
Politician, yes.
So what about what your papa be now?
This is my secret. Give us P capsules. Emma, I want to come from now on to me to my din one pen. Give us P capsules. Over do us, Mama. Oh no, enemy lawyer.
And to lawyer no na show bottom. Are you bro? They na upon me see baba tia mo a ese ni die.
Bosano.
No. We dey nefi waka wo. The friend give us cold capsules. Say yes is yare na wo so. Ko di di wo ni pedwem wani na wo posa amaman entimi ma wunja wo nan yi. Wonum give us cold capsules a. Obeye free.
Lawyer.
Give us cold capsules.
And I give us P capsules.
Hey, and they give us free.
And men what if you do what you do cronkwan ever. Give us core capsules. A painful a battle one more menu for one kwada when if you do me nunca.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bets. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
Ghana for Mama down yo. Let the dead number. Dead spices are running in every just so. And you never know yet.
If we come your job away, no use dead spices. We don't go job. If I don't feel
Fish day inside. Yeah, the natural spices, Papa na
noodles unabeza. Everywhere you go, dead spices.
Just the
one. No more dead spices. Aji baby,
Tasting a chicken.
Kaji go. But dead spices here what Jenny say. Nanya good taste. If we say yeah the natural spices and yeah Ghana hey yao. Annie you want all purpose stewed noodles curry and nutmeg and a jollof. Dead spices taste yummy taste lemon. Dead spices taste day inside. FDAG a good in kratoya too.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fair missy way.
The patch of bantama.
Matias.
Cycle.
It's her smile, the fresh breath.
Me, Gidi said we use a Cal 360 toothpaste. Some kind. Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's here. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector. Onim jom kasa.
Kile kosing. Cal 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You will so feeling to when you know Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Unkanesu. Esan se ni boni awaye nti. E na nananom de sayare ya domeno. Fani kom.
Ewei enya abosonfo bia na adome no na mmom ne brebo anase na sabo ne ho atochema ne ohia ne so obetutu mika akosi for see homeopathic hospital no matimi ahwe no ama ne ho ato no
Tusiafo mede di Matilda Asari
Onya bema chief paternity Kofi Saponi wo fa me DSP a meje so
se ba no apomudi ho adwuma pa de a eye C for C homeopathic hospital
me bo C for C homeopathic hospital when they were at their child. We are the Bia, we are Fabraha, na ha, and our Yarisa.
Your branches, Ghana, Afanenina, any Europe, baby, I will be to be C for C, C for C, once treated, forever treated.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bets. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the partial Daily Jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
This offers has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
In today's modern world, stairs are a challenge, especially for our elderly and those with health concerns. Navigating them can be difficult and even dangerous, but there's a safer way to move vertically. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, your answer to a more accessible and secure vertical transportation. Our elevators and escalators, including top-of-the-line pneumatic vacuum elevators, Fuji elevators and escalators, offer a safer and more convenient alternative, eliminating the risks of stairs and enhancing accessibility for homes, businesses, and hospitals. Choose safety and convenience with Lifts and Elevators Limited Company. Elevate your spaces today. For more information, visit our website at www.elevatorsgh.org or call now on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, the elevator people.
Bar Herbal Hospital. Specialists in every kind of bone disease.
Bar Herbal Hospital. Baby, a Sunday will be Nanso, Yari, Sapa,
spinal cord, swelling of the arms, arthritis, bone injury, swelling of the leg with reddish color around it, and so on. See, Bar Herbal Hospital has special ultra-modern machine for checking up the body. I have tried them and I got good results. Try Bar Herbal Hospital.
Just like how water refreshes you on a hot sunny day, it takes a refreshing bath with Alive soap to feel its pleasant fragrances.
The soap I want and need at the end of every day,
Leaving you with soft, smooth and fresh looking skin.
You make me feel alive, you really brighten my day, my day.
Available in lemon, coconut, rose and aloe vera fragrance. Alive soap. Feel fresh, feel alive.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bets. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the partial Daily Jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
Customer. Nadabena minka medra papa. Ucha say. Me try 10 Ghana. 10 Ghana. 10 Ghana cedis. Na no dia, say na obenya. 10 Ghana cedis no. Me dia. 54,000 Ghana cedis. 54,000. 540 million. Yeah, the one na me try me di e skase. Yeah. Ene na giga dey tena we. Tena wa boki. Draw no na asase no. Mami me volume. Customer.
One of our daily lucky winners. Dial *946# to play now. Or you can also play online at www.gamepackgames.com. Game Park is regulated by the National Lottery Authority.
Off to the touch screen again, and this time for sports. And Andy is here. Good evening, Andy.
Good evening, sir.
Who are these gallant men on the screen?
Yes, so the 26-man squad to face Mali and also Central African Republic.
The first time he's been without Ayew since 2008.
Yes.
The captain of the team. Yes. He's gone.
It looks like it's a transition.
So who is the captain of this team?
So they have given it to Partey.
Third Party is always the deputy captain, so he's been called.
Yes.
He's joined the team to Mali.
Oh yes.
Is he in good shape?
Very, very good shape.
Is he going to give us passes?
Hopefully.
The same one he gives to Odegaard and Bukayo Saka.
We are praying for Tony Cruz passes. So let's look at the goalkeepers. We have Atizigi, who caught at the World Cup, while caught plying his trade in Scotland, and also Kotoko's goalkeeper Frederick Asari has been having a wonderful season.
I was going to say something to you. I know that people enjoy your presentation quite a lot, and it's been doing very well. There's a guy on Joy FM, and I don't often, I'm always criticizing Joy News people, but this one is a compliment.
Yeah.
I listen to him all the time. I don't know his name. He does the program with Lexus Bill. Okay. The way he weaves the sports story, and this afternoon, I think today he was in the studio. Okay. He was on phone or something like that because it didn't sound. He has a way of weaving the story. So he says things like, he's going to have a personal meeting with Pochettino, and tomorrow they will talk about. Very, very interesting the way he says it. Today he talked about the Black Stars, and he said they had finished eating and they had orange juice and bread, and they are going to Mali, and then he's warning them that they should bring better results. And he's quite very knowledgeable in sports, and the way he would, I think the guy is good. I think the guy is really, really good. So I called a friend of mine. I nearly mentioned his name. So I called him and I said, Chief, are you listening to Joy FM? They said, Paul, are you crazy? I'm listening to my radio station. Why should I listen to Joy FM? I said, Charlie, there's a guy on Joy. He's doing the sports of like, you should go and poach him. The guy is too good. I said, what does he do? I said, just the way he puts the story together. Charlie, the guy is he's funny and he's knowledgeable, I think. So I told my guy that Charlie, go and poach him. So tell if he gets a call from another radio station, then I initiated it.
You are the scout.
Yes, I've scouted him, correct. I really scouted him.
Okay, anyway. So we have Gideon Mensah playing the straight. Auxerre, France, Ebenezer and first time being called. Salisu in Monaco, Jerome Opoko in Italy, Rayo Vallecano, and then also Alexander Djiku, who will be playing for Mourinho next season at Fenerbahce.
Also, the Mourinho Fenerbahce thing is correct.
Yes.
Oh, I saw a video of him.
He went on Sunday.
Getting on some private jet I see.
He's going to Fenerbahce.
Fenerbahce in the Champions League, though.
Yes,
they will be okay.
So Ali Dusaidi also in France, and Tariq Lamptey, Brighton, and our own Mohamed Kudus from West Ham, Ernest Yamal, Lyon. Also in Salis, also in Spain, Suleimana, Partey, Edwin Addo, Elisha Owusu. Abu Francis also a very first person. Cercle Bruges, also in Belgium.
New.
Okay. Cercle Bruges, and also Osman Bukhari in Svena. That is a Red Star Belgrade. Yes.
Oh, the former Red Star Belgrade. Yes. They won Champions League
1991. Yeah, 1991.
Hey, you have filler.
So we have Fatau Ishahaku. That was Leicester. Leicester's young player of the season.
Yes, he's a very good player. Very good player.
11 assists this season. Very fantastic player. Antoine Semenyo, Bournemouth, also a fantastic CV.
Chelsea should get Semenyo, I think.
Yes.
They should get him.
7 goals and 6 assists for...
I think he's better than Nicholas Jackson. I think so.
That's a big take.
Jackson is a lot of much ado about nothing this season. I don't know whether he's going to improve. But Semenyo is a great player.
Yeah. And always all present. Jordan Ayew, he had the most assists for an African in the
Crystal Palace.
No, in the Premier League.
8. I see.
8 assists. Very, very good player. Ibrahim Osman, he's been linked to Brighton. Also very good season for him. In Nordirland, that's Denmark. They won the Danish league.
And he's been linked to Brighton where Tariq Lamptey plays.
Yes.
But why is Manchester United not going for Tariq Lamptey? They don't have a right back. What are they waiting for?
They are looking for Bayern Leverkusen's Frimpong.
Oh, he's also Ghanaian. Is he a right back too?
Yes, he's a right back.
Oh, I see.
He says he's Dutch. He has been called by the Dusty.
Oh no, Tariq Lamptey should go to Manchester United. Play at the right back. He'll get a very good season, and he'll do very well. The Old Trafford festivals will love him.
Oh, yes.
He's a very, very good player. They will remind them of Gary Neville. You know, he's actually better than Gary Neville, no doubt about that.
And even Evra.
Evra is left. Is he right or left?
Left.
Tariq. Oh, he's left.
Yeah. Oh, sometimes he can play as right. And
he's very much like Patrice Evra.
Yeah.
Very, very much like that.
Very robust.
But I think he has a bit more defensive capacities, just a little bit more than Evra. Just a little bit. Yeah. And, the Old Trafford, they play the attacking game. So when you are a left or right back attacking player, you are the favorite. Yeah. And during the counter attack, he can break through. He really needs Old Trafford. I think they should go for him. Yes. If Eric Ten Hag is staying, I don't know.
Hopefully, we hope he stays. And let's move to the camp. And then you see they were all in good spirits. That's Kudus, and then the boys' party. That's the captain right now, Jiku, and all the guys. They are in good spirits. Hopefully, our result has not been good for the last 5 games. Mm-hmm. We have not won a single game in the last 5 games. And Mali coming into the game have won 3 and lost just 2 in the last 5 games. So they have.
Is it the Malian team that won the junior something?
Recently? Under 20. They have been doing very
they're
well.
Formidable side.
The AFCON was only Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast beat them in the last minute.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
In the last minute, I remember that. Time. Yes, so they are very, very good.
And they are playing at home in Bamako.
Yeah, at the 26th March Stadium. Yeah, in Bamako. And that's Kudus. Hopefully, he brings his experience to the fore. And yes, Semenyo, these are all our good players. Yeah, the same also goes with Partey. We hope he delivers this time around, and we get a 6 maximum points against Central African Republic.
Why do you have Andre's photograph here?
Yes, we have to ponder on a great service or a great.
Has he retired from Black Stars?
No.
He just didn't make the call up.
Yes.
So he could come back another time.
He could come anytime. So he has played 19 games for Le Havre in France. He has scored 5 goals. Very, very good. It was even nominated. One of his goals was nominated for the goal of the season in France. So he has had a very good season. I don't know what happened and he wasn't picked up. But yeah, hey, I'm sure for the tournament itself, for experience-wise, they will pick him up. So this is not the end of the world.
I hope not. I think he served his due. He should leave. Jordan can continue playing, but Andre has done his best for the Black Stars.
So you are saying he should do a cruise, leave on the high?
Yeah, he should leave now. He can go to the stadium and watch the game if he has time. Well, all leagues are on break now, so if he has time, he can be in Mali. He speaks French. Mali is French speaking. Yeah. He can be around, and he can even migrate onto the technical team. He could. Hopefully. He could. Yeah, a training assistant of sorts.
I've been seeing like Kirsten doing a very wonderful job.
He could migrate onto the technical team for the Black Stars and be part of the Black Stars team. Like Stephen Appiah is, Sami Kufo. Yeah. He can join that group and then motivate the players. But at this stage, I think that the Green Turf has said goodbye to him as far as the Black Stars are concerned.
Yeah. Okay. And also to the fans, please, on Monday, that's on 10th June, Kumasi Sports Stadium.
Well, the game is Monday.
For the Mali one, it's just on Thursday.
GBC is showing that live. Ghana Television is showing that live.
But for the Central African Republic match,
we're playing in Kumasi.
It's in Kumasi. We should go and support the
We will be there. Don't worry.
7 p.m. sharp. And the Mali match is also 7 p.m. here, sharp.
Oh, 7 p.m. on Thursday. So by the time we come to the studio at 9 p.m., it will be over. Yeah. Okay, all right. Okay. Interesting. Okay, now viewers, it's June 4th, okay? June 4th. And those of you who don't have Facebook, please get your Facebook ready because in 5 minutes, Metro TV will take us off and the program will continue on social media on Facebook. And we are now going to roll out a June 4th documentary. And when the documentary is going to be half an hour, I think. And after the documentary has rolled out, we'll say goodbye to you. So we are saying our goodbyes right now. Do you have any final completing text messages? Let's take one each for our goodbyes right now.
So this is coming from Aaron Babako, and he says, it's imperative that we cannot record any elements of foreplay in the Attorney General's department to maintain public trust and confidence in the legal system by implementing strict policies, conducting regular audits, fostering a culture of integrity and collaborating with oversight bodies. We can prevent and address misconduct effectively. It is essential to have consequences for wrongdoers, protect whistleblowers, and promote transparency and accountability to uphold the department's integrity. And then lastly, coming from Matthias, he says, Paul, it seems Uni Kulendi was used by his relative Jakpa to entrap the Attorney General, Godfrey Dame. What do you have for us?
Alright, so this is one because what concerns this issue was the Akuna tactic of trying to hold the minds of the minority Ghanaians, thinking they would win the election is mind-boring. Paul, please, like I said, if you can get CJ's letter and read to your listeners, we'll be grateful. The NDC and this so-called Jakpa agenda against the AG will not stand the test of time. Sometimes when you listen to Sami Jenfi and co, they do not speak any merit at all. All the arguments they make are inactive ones. Let all Ghanaians support DMB to win 2024 elections. It is possible. Lastly, from Samuel Kelly, and this is for Paul. He says, Paul really loves Jama. It reminds me of Accra Hearts of Folk in the 1970s, the days of the fearsome five-song. Robert Hammond, Mama Aqua, Patalamte, Anna Siedu, and the dribbling magician, Mohamed Pulu. Anziba Hojafra.
All right, so we have Ifwanyano saying, no weapon formed against Dami shall prosper. We also have Opong Jr. saying, Paul supports Kwamo Future Stars to Elite League. Okay, what do you have for us, Michelangelo?
Elder Saki, watching us from Kumasi, seems to be very, very happy with you, Paul. He says you're a great journalist, a great lawyer, and he also thinks you're a great politician and historian. That's what you are. God is proud of you, he says. Paul, back to you.
Okay, so we prepared this documentary in 2019 and wanted to depict the wanton acts of indiscipline, cruelty, uselessness that attended the June 4th revolution of 1979. Today, nobody talks about June 4th again because God has blessed us with time. And with time, we are able to see the uselessness of history. And this is one of them. Enjoy the June 4th documentary produced by our team.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Has Christianity always been one of the religions in the world to you?
Oh, hallelujah. Praise God. Christianity is not a religion, neither is it a joining of a church and doing the Christian things like praying and giving and so on. Hallelujah. Christianity is the outworking of God's own kind of life received into the spirit of a man. Whoa! This divine life in the heart of a man makes him righteous, keeps him healthy, divinely guided in life, prosperous and victorious. It gives you the ability to enjoy intimate fellowship with the Father and have dominion on this earth. Hallelujah. This is what awaits you if you will hold